Greetings everyone and welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm your host Captain Ryan. Today's YouTube video has got me back in World of Warships after a little bit of a break, and I am playing in the best looking battleship in the game. That's right, I am back in my Scharnhorst, my second Fletcher, if you will, in this game. And I'm certainly going to prove that point in this battle. As the battle gets underway, it's the Shards map, it's Domination Match Mode, and right here at the beginning of the matchup, the team has decided that we are going to go to the A and B cap points, screw C. C is a death trap. With the exception of one ship all the way up there by the C cap point, who's not going to stay up there too long, pretty much the entirety of the team is headed towards the B and A cap point. Now, I opt to turn and start heading towards the A cap point initially, mostly because my experience with this particular map and with random battles is that if I don't go towards the A cap point, if I decide to rush into the B cap point, I'm going to find myself very quickly way far forward of the team as the team decides, nah, screw B2. And then I get focused down very quickly and take way too much damage early on. So, at least initially, I'm going to head towards the A cap point, but at this point, it doesn't look like me being at the A cap point is even going to be a problem, or even be necessary, as my team manages to capture the A cap point. The enemy team starts capping B, and there's at least one destroyer over there, as we see the smoke screen popping up. But there's actually 2 of the 4 enemy destroyers in the B cap point. But if you can see there on the minimap and off in the distance, pretty much their entire team has decided that they're going to go to the C and B cap points. So, if I were to head up to the A cap point, it would be a complete waste of time, and it would really just remove my guns from the battle, because there would be a bunch of islands in the way. So instead, I decide I'm turning my ship again, still kind of contemplating whether or not I want to go up towards the A cap point, really taking stock and seeing what the team around me is going to do. Again, mostly because I don't want to be caught isolated all the way out in front by myself. However, it looks like the good majority of my team is actually pushing into the B cap point, and their whole goal here is to just challenge the situation. Now, I am detected, and that's obviously going to be one of the destroyers, because I shouldn't have been detected other than a destroyer until this point. Managed to citadel that cruiser off in the distance there, hit him for a nice sizable chunk of damage, and that always makes me happy. Now, if I can finish him off, that'll make me even happier. That cruiser, unfortunately, definitely the straggler of his team, as he is all the way over there, and very much so isolated by himself. I'm going to go ahead and push into the B cap point here, because at this point, the enemy team's focus is mostly divided between the destroyers that are up in front of me, and the rest of my team back behind me, as well as the fact that the enemy team's not really in a position to shoot at anybody because they're all hiding behind an island. Managed to kill the enemy cruiser to secure my first kill in this game. So now the enemy team is down a destroyer and a cruiser, but they still have a lot of ships, and they do hold the C cap point. And my team has just begun to cap the B cap point. So at this point, if they can manage to sink a couple of us, the scores will be pretty damn equal. Of course, managed to dodge some torpedoes coming in there. It was kind of easy as they were spotted a ways out there, and it looked like they were far enough apart that I wasn't going to have any problem. Take shots at this Warspite here. With any luck, I'll be able to do some reasonable damage to him. Of course, he gets shots in. It does a little bit of damage to the bow of my ship, and that's a little disappointing as it resets the cap process. But now I've got worse things to worry about. Enemy destroyer has popped up here, and if he's popped up in detectability range, that can only mean one thing. There are probably torpedoes in the water, so I start maneuvering heavily. Now I do get shots out there as he lays a smoke screen, but that ends up not mattering as I miss him anyway. I slam on the brakes to try and stay in the cap, but of course, just as I manage to do that, here come a set of torpedoes. And that resets the cap progress again for me. And I'm concerned that there might be torpedoes inbound, so I hit the speed, and I turn hard to avoid any potential incoming torpedoes. And that is going to remove me from the cap zone. Little disappointed by that. However, no more torpedoes coming in. Didn't take too much damage from that torpedoes. It did hit me dead center, so it didn't cause flooding, which was excellent. There are a large number of ships in that smokescreen. There's at least one destroyer, which laid the smokescreen, and the enemy team is down to 2 left. But there's at least 2 cruisers in there, and possibly a battleship as well. Team is pushing up. They're definitely rallying around, and they know what they're doing, because look at the number of torpedoes heading into that smokescreen. Spot a low health Atlanta. With any luck, I can Citadel him and finish him off. Nope, just managed to get over pins. Not quite enough to kill him, and he disappears behind an island, so I'm unable to finish him off here. A little bit of a replay bug. I fire off those torpedoes that are actually aimed at the turrets and not at the Atago. However, the turrets is turning, and it's possible my torpedoes won't even hit him, and that's kind of disappointing. But I've got more problems to think about. Here come incoming torpedoes. Those are from the Atago. I do manage to hit the turrets with 1 torpedo, which kind of makes me happy. Cause quite a bit of damage. Open up on him with secondaries, as they are flagged for him. And somehow, the damage he takes, I managed to finish off that turret with flooding, and that's going to be my 2nd kill in this battle. And at this point, I've done a pretty reasonable amount of damage at over 50,000. Enemy team has managed to lose 4 of their ships, and still my team hasn't managed to lose a single ship. With 2 cap points, this puts us way up in the caps lead. The enemy team, things are looking real sketchy for them right now. Choice of targets here, but the Atlanta pops up and he's very low health. I really only need him with 1 overpin to kill him, but of course I managed to Citadel him and finish him off anyway. And that's going to be my 3rd kill. Now I've got a Warspite that's about half strength, and I've got this Atago up here. I need to be careful of the Atago because he's got those torpedoes, and I don't need to be getting torpedoed. I also need to be careful of that Warspite because 15-inch guns hurt, and at this kind of range, he's not going to miss. Managed to hit the Atago for a reasonable amount of damage, and I'm close enough to the Warspite to get torpedoes away. He's backing up, so I know he's only going to be backing up. Fire off those torpedoes right there on the lead indicator, and with any luck, I'll manage to hit him and sink him. Atago, very low health. Can I get the killing blow on him? Come on. Yes, I do manage to Citadel him and finish him off. And now it's just down to this Warspite. He's very low health. Doesn't matter. Managed to nail him with a torpedo for my Kraken Unleashed and a double strike. At this point, the enemy team does finally manage to kill a couple of ships on my team. They kill a destroyer and a cruiser, but they're down to just 2 destroyers, and one of those destroyers is very low health, and we saw him there briefly way back behind that island. But I'm being detected, and that has me concerned. Of course, that tells me that there is an enemy destroyer that is within my detection range, and given the number of islands in the way, that means he's probably somewhere on this side of the island. So I do need to be very careful, and as you can see here, I'm taking maneuvering and evasive actions, and that's when he pops up. He's about half health. He does pop up here, and I'm one of the few people who's actually in position to shoot him. I flag him for secondaries. I get shots out there. Don't manage to cause too much damage, as they're almost all overpins, which is a little surprising at this kind of range and angle. The question is he going to get torpedoes away at me? Am I already in danger here? Yes, the torpedoes are on their way. I'm turning hard to try and avoid them. Come on, torpedo beats. Doesn't matter. Managed to kill them before they hit me. For 6 kills in the game. Only did 77,000 damage, though, in that entire battle. Little disappointed by the damage roll. However, I did do 6 kills. Double strike, Kraken Unleash, and Confederate. Oh. And if you haven't realized, that battle only lasted 9 minutes. Yes, that's right, 9 minutes. And I managed to kill half of the enemy team, and we only lost 2 ships in the entire battle. Of course, top of the team for XP earned, not quite enough to break that 2,000 mark, but still 1,700 plus is good enough. But pay attention, at the bottom of the screen there, you can see a player who has 0 XP. Yes, that's right, my team had somebody who was AFK. My team basically down a ship the entire battle, still managed to win in a crushing victory. Anyway, that's it for today's video, folks. If you like the video, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment down below. If you'd like to get semi-regular channel news and updates, you can do so by liking and following me on Facebook. If you'd like to help support me and my channel, as well as gain access to some of my World of Warships replays early, you can do so by becoming my supporter on Patreon. Any support level will help and gain you access to those replays. If you've got a World of Warships replay like this one that you'd like to see featured on my channel, you can send it to my email. And if you'd like to watch me play World of Warships, Armored Warfare, among other games, live on Sundays at about 10 a.m., you can do so by following me on Twitch. You can find the links for all of those in the video description down below. And as always, I'll see you next time. This is Captain Rye, signing off.